Hi guys, today I'll be testing whether or not you can run AMD CrossFireX in a pre-built PC like Dell or HP. The PC I'm testing is the HP Compaq Elite 8300. I bought this PC in 2018 for around £40. It was sold as spares and repairs. It had a bashed up case, lid wouldn't fit on, it had a broken PCIe slot clip, it had no RAM or hard drive, and it was in a pretty rough state. It did have an i5-3470 installed however. I installed RAM, an SSD and a hard drive, and to my surprise it worked. Afterwards I managed to use pliers to bend the case and lid mechanism into a better position so the lid would fit on, with enough force I might add. Moving on, the spec sheet for this PC doesn't specify Crossfire support, but as the motherboard has two PCIe slots, one at x16 and one at x4 speed, running Gen 2, I thought maybe it'll work. The cards I'll be using for this are the two Sapphire HD 5450s from my previous video, which I recommend watching, where you can see true Crossfire performance with these cards. They're both the same 2GB model, which will hopefully help with compatibility. I installed the low profile bracket on each card, borrowing an MSI bracket for one of them. So I installed the cards. So I turned the PC on, and it worked fine. I installed the drivers, no issues whatsoever. But now to see if I can enable Crossfire. The options there. And to my surprise, it worked. The setup couldn't have gone smoother. So overclocking the cards, I'm running the same overclock as I did previously, 700 MHz core and 900 MHz memory. Now to test the games. Firstly I tested Just Cause 2. It ran great and on par with my previous results on the Crossfire board from last video. There was no stuttering and the experience felt the same. I'll show the side-by-side comparison too with that video so you can see for yourself. It was a success anyway. The Witcher 3. The performance was so bad anyway with the Crossfire board, I wondered if it could be any worse with this one. No, exactly the same. I'll show the side-by-side comparison again and you can make your own decision on that. It's not like you could play the game like this anyway. In terms of the actual point of the video, it was a success for this game too.
We'll talk about this later.
The same can't be said for Apex Legends, unfortunately, whether or not it was the next season update that ruined it or the motherboard that can't handle it. Although it wasn't perfect on the last board, it's totally unplayable now. Starting the actual game with this configuration would give you a seizure, so I didn't include the video. This is the only game tested that somewhat worked on the Crossfire board that failed to work on this one. Unfortunately, I couldn't test Crysis as I couldn't get a CD key from Steam, so I couldn't launch the game on this PC. Finally, onto GTA 5. In the last tests, I was comparing against my Crossfire motherboard. This time, however, I tested Crossfire enabled versus disabled to see if Crossfire made any visible difference on this exact PC. I would say the same as I did in the last video with the Crossfire board. The responsiveness of the game is improved, with little to no change in smoothness, but have a look for yourself to make your own decision again. Either way, it was a success. So the conclusion, this was just a fun little experiment that I thought of doing as I was curious, testing Crossfire in an old HP pre-build, and it proved successful. 3 of the 4 games worked and ran just as well, or badly, as they did on the Crossfire board. I'm surprised it worked as seamless as it did, having performance on par with my original results from the last video. I will say though, having Crossfire working may not be true for all HP or Dell PCs, so keep that in mind if you did want to try this out for yourself. But still, I just like the fact that a small form factor PC like this one, especially from the original state that it came in, is capable of running 2 GPUs in Crossfire, even if these ones are HD 5450s. Thanks for watching, please leave a like, comment video suggestions below and subscribe if you like my content and want to see more. And I'll see you all in the next video.